This meeting of the Eureka Springs City Council will come to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll, establish quorum?
James Cavito.
Here.
Dean Kirkpatrick.
Here.
Butch Berry.
Present.
Raphael.
Here.
Lady Balance. Ken Pelno.
Here.
Okay, next we have a pledge of allegiance. Everybody please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is the state of the city. So, y'all bear with me, I'll read through this. I bring this address to the citizens and council now on this meeting of January 23rd, 2012. Another year has come and gone in the history of the city of Eureka Springs. 2011 was a flash in time as many events dotted the calendar. Winter gave us a precarious start with ice and snow, which entered the first city council meeting with some confusion and misunderstandings. We prevailed and carried on with our city business. On-the-job training seemed to be the common denominator for all the new elected officials. We opined, agreed and disagreed, made mistakes, endeavored, and moved along with what we were charged to do, run the city. The spring season blessed us with copious amounts of much-needed water. Sometimes what we need and what we get present situations that pull a community together, both citizens and officials, for a common goal. The landslide by Grotto Spring was just such an event. All of our departments worked hand in hand with civilian entities to rectify the problem, as did our elected officials who jointly pulled together in a united effort to literally keep the earth from moving. We proved government could work like it should. Another shining moment of cooperation revealed itself when our EMS system struggled to provide professional medical services while having to use mechanically failing fleet of ambulances. Due to the amount of usage on aged, unsustainable equipment, we recognized the probability of possible dangers to staff and patients while in transport from scene to healthcare facility. The sense of pride in our EMS system was again proven when the City Council approved the purchase of 2 new, first in the state of Arkansas, top-of-the-line ambulances. This cooperation helped restore a public perception that they came first. Fortunately for everyone, fall and winter have been pleasantly mild with little to no bad weather. This helped our tourism numbers flourish and kept revenue flowing in. We anticipate a great year in both aspects and hope everyone prospers. All of our departments challenged each other to gathering the most amount of food to be donated to the Flint Street Food Bank. It was close on who actually won, but it was all for a good cause. The prize was cookies baked by the mayor, which turned out to be about 12 dozen. And yes, I did bake them all myself. In our police department, the police department has stepped up its community involvement as well as performing its role of enforcement. The department has conducted several community fundraisers, such as the Polar Bear Plunge, the All-American Weekend, the Eureka Multi-Sport event, raising money for the school special education department, collecting food for the food bank, and raising money for needy families during the holiday season. They also participated in the Shop with a Cop and Angel Tree for Christmas. For 2012, there are plans to increase community involvement by adding more fundraisers and helping local nonprofit organizations. The police department has also begun holding and sponsoring regional training conferences in an effort to attract visitors to Eureka Springs during the middle of the week. These classes are intended to attract law enforcement and other first responders and are advertised in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, and Arkansas. And Fire EMS, the Eureka Springs Fire EMS Department is our other 24-hour, 7 days a week city emergency department, which operates 13 personnel, chief EMT, 8 paramedics, firefighters, and 5 EMT firefighters. 2 of the current EMTs are currently in paramedic school and have graduated. Were in school and have graduated, I'm sorry. I have a hard time reading today. They also have approximately 20 volunteers throughout western Carroll County. They have 4 fire stations in the city and 2 fire stations in the rural areas outside the city. Fire stats for 2011 were 1,297 EMS calls, 107 fire calls. 2012 fire EMS goals host the annual Midwest Emergency Medical Response Conference at the end of the Ozarks, where EMRs, emergency medical responders from 4 states, will be in attendance. Next will be an emergency medical technician refresher class, monthly CPR classes for general public and healthcare providers, quarterly fire extinguisher classes, annual landing zone class to promote helicopter safety in the rural areas and in the city, monthly volunteer fire and medical training. Parks and Recreation. The Parks and Recreation Department has authority over all the parks, springs, gardens, and bodies of water related to the parks. The Parks and Recreation Department regulates events in all the city parks by way of authorizing and issuing certain usage permits. They use the city tax and grants for projects in the various areas under their authority. 2011 park accomplishments were the purchase and placements of handicap access facility for boating at the Lake Leatherwood Marina, funded by a grant. Built and placed a 3-panel information kiosk in Basin Park for residents and tourist benefits. Designated Basin Park a no smoking area. Built dugout enclosures and sodded the infield diamond at the Lake Leatherwood baseball fields. Finally, yeah. Participated in energy grant with city to replace 11 light fixtures in Basin Park, along with 5 existing street light fixtures with decorative energy-saving LED lights. Street lights, sorry. Submitted a grant proposal to the Arkansas Parks and Tourism for up to $100,000 for wildlife viewing in Lake Leatherwood Park. I believe that's supposed to be game and fish, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's game and fish instead of Parks and Tourism. My bad. Held 2 public meetings to allow input by general parks matters. Several 2012 planned projects include the purchase and installation of a new scoreboard for the soccer field. Another proposed project is the Basin Springs project, located in the downtown Basin Springs Park. This project has been deemed the unofficial reopening of the spring. Public Works and Wastewater Treatment Plant. Our Public Works Department has an exemplary year in the service of 2011. Winter posed many dangerous issues with deep snows and freezing temperatures, in which they prevailed in keeping our streets clear and safe. Spring provided a challenge in our landslide by Grotto Springs, which displaced tons of earth, endangering 3 city streets. Okay, let's start over here. I'm drying up. Damaging a major water line and endangered a major power line which provided electricity to most of Eureka Springs and Carroll County. The concerted efforts on the parts of Public Works, City Hall, City Council, engineering firms, utility companies, and private contractors rectified the problem and gave the area a new chance to reclaim a natural setting. Summer and winter have not presented any further problems. Our infrastructure presents the biggest challenge to each administration by inheriting an aged water and sewer issues that had been installed in the unforgiving geographical minefield that we live in. Public Works repair and update what they can, when they can, but still struggle to maintain even ground. Regardless of the administration, Public Works can only work with what they are provided, short of receiving available grants through various organizations. Public Works presented many opportunities for our employees working in a geographically challenged environment, such as maintenance and repair on 3 types of streets: dirt, historic concrete, and asphalt. Most of this is done working with ever-present traffic buzzing around him. Replacing, repairing our majority of root-intruded clay tile sewer lines with modern sewer lines. Maintenance and repair of water sewer lines in scorching and freezing temperatures, standing waist deep in mud and or sewage. Constant maintenance on vegetation to keep roads clear and maneuverable. Maintenance and repair on public bridges, sidewalks, drain boxes, culverts, curbs, crosswalks, and signage. The City Advertising and Promotion Commission, better known as CAPC, the year 2011 for the CAPC was a year of change, new leadership, and new direction to enhance and provide our lodging and restaurant industry positive bottom lines. The CAPC established 2011 budget projection of $1,100,000 and finished the year at $1,089,753, less than 1% from the established goal. This goal was attained with an approximate spending of nearly $200,000 less than the previous year, resulting in an actual 1.5 increase from 2010. The CAPC changed leadership early in 2011, utilizing 2 interim directors. On August the 1st, 2011, Mike Maloney was hired as the full-time director to carry the CAPC into the third and fourth quarters of the year. New advertising strategies were immediately deployed to reach the ever-growing I-540 corridor, and the switch from the city's print-oriented advertising to television immediately began to show new results for the city's lodging and restaurant industries. The most dramatic change in advertising was the Christmas campaign from November through December. A budget of just under $100,000 was pumped into television, newspaper, and magazine advertising for markets in Kansas City, Springfield, Tulsa, Little Rock, and Northwest Arkansas. Tax receipts indicated the new direction was on track as many businesses reported record earnings from previous years despite the overall U.S. economy. The CAPC Commission voted unanimously to accept a new 2012 budget of $1,300,000 in revenue projections to further advance the city's new positive public relations and advertising efforts. The largest increase in budgeting comes from an aggressive plan of regional television encompassing network and cable advertising, again targeting Kansas City, St. Louis, Springfield, Little Rock, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and the Dallas-Fort Worth markets. The recent survey by Marshall Research indicated residents of Benton and Washington counties in northwest Arkansas were lax in their visitations and even knowledge of Eureka Springs, being just a few miles away. With a population base of nearly 500,000 residents, less than 25% of the Benton and Washington County residents have visited Eureka Springs in the last year. The Eureka Springs CAPC now engages approximately 25% of the annual budget to reach this ever-growing market. The CAPC had previously spent less than 10% of its annual advertising budget to reach the closest and largest population base in the region. An increase of approximately $25,000 was added to the new small meetings and group conferences budget. By attending new trade shows throughout the United States, Eureka Springs had boosted efforts in an attempt to reach more of the motor coach, boomer, faith-based, and professional small meeting and group markets. The CAPC's Karen Pryor earned the esteemed title of Certified Travel Industry Specialist just recently, giving credence to the CAPC's increased efforts in the travel industry. The city will continue to reinforce the brand of the Extraordinary Escape to motivate leisure as well as serious travelers to experience what Eureka Springs has to offer. As the artist population of our city represents nearly 450 working professionals, Eureka Springs has one of the largest artist-to-resident ratios in the United States. Consequently, art will be one of the strongest messages conveyed through the city's advertising efforts. Eureka Springs is uniquely poised for a very successful 2012 with the establishment of a strong relationship with the new Crystal Bridges Museum of Art in Bentonville. The art lover and enthusiast can enjoy museum-quality art and art that can be purchased. The Eureka Springs CAPC works in concert with many of the city's groups and organizations to support their marketing efforts with festivals, events, parades, tours, and meetings. True to our mission, we will continue to seek new opportunities to promote Eureka Springs as a destination for leisure travel, meetings, conventions, and events, while enhancing visitors' experiences. The CAPC has proposed a year-long agreement for 2012 concerning the auditorium. They have booked approximately 150 nights and will continue to work on future events if an agreement is reached. Transit. Take a drink. Doc, you want to finish this? Okay, I got you. I'll carry on that. The Transit Department is an integral part of our city's infrastructure as it allows citizens and tourists a safe, economic mode of transportation as well as keeping our traffic congestion to a minimum. Transit is a productive and progressive department regulated by city ordinances, state and federal regulations. Transit also provides city-funded transportation for community assistance programs such as Share a Ride, and also provides business franchises such as group tours. Transit 2011 accomplishments were 3 new trolleys, paid for by federal funds, not local taxes, 2 new service vehicles, which were paid for by city taxes, completed the Plainer Hill Park and Ride Welcome Center, installed catalytic converters on old trolleys to meet EPA guidelines, designed and installed passenger shelters at 10 trolley stops, acquired and installed 30 benches at trolley stops, acquired and installed 100 additional weatherproof information sign holders at these trolley stops, excuse me, installed a backup generator at the transit center, acquired better tools and equipment for mechanics, and provided 153,078 rides for the year 2011. Mayor's Art Council. The Mayor's Art Council put together another great May Fine Arts Festival in 2011. Much hard work went into this project, and all the members of the council were highly recommended for their outstanding efforts and accomplishments. The Arts Council has also been a major influence on the alliance with Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art. They have managed to keep Eureka Springs in the loop of major discussions about present ongoing projects at the museum, and now via a possible presence in a donated building 1 block off the square in Bentonville. The Arts Council has also taken on the effort to restore the art wall on First Street, along with a new project involving 3D musical art on North Main. Another project is the brand new Eureka Springs Motorcycle Art Show, which will include several internationally known artists which contract their art with major motorcycle manufacturers around the world. This project will help tie our prevalent art culture with our ever-growing motorcycle tourism, our experiences we experience on a regular basis, as well as overflow motorcyclists from annual Bikes, Booze, and Barbecue event, which occurs in nearby Fayetteville, Arkansas. City awards, honors, and accomplishments. In the honors category, listed on the Register of Historic Places in 1970, relisted as nationally significant in 2005. One of a dozen distinctive destinations of National Trust of Historic Preservation 2004, Preserve America Community for 2003, Volunteer Community for 2004, Arkansas Community of Excellence 2005, 10 Coolest Small American Towns, number 4 on the list in the 2011 Budget Travel Magazine. We're Firewise Community, we're also the top 25 art towns in America, 7 years running in the American Style magazine. Eureka Springs Historical District is one of the top 10 places to visit in Arkansas for 2011. 1911? I'm thinking about cold guns. Awards. American Planning Association Spring Street, one of the 10 great streets in America for 2010. Keep America Beautiful First Annual Shine Award, winner in our population category in 2010. Keep America Beautiful Third Annual Shine Award, winner in our population category for 2008. Eureka Springs Historic District Commission 2010 Commission of Excellence Award from the National Alliance of Preservation Commissions. Historic Preservation Alliance of Arkansas Heritage Community Award 2011. Eureka Springs Downtown Network has been a member of the Main Street Arkansas and National Main Street Center of the National Trust for Historic Preservation since 2007. We're a member of the Tree City USA since 1982, oldest in Arkansas for a period of 29 years. We have the Growth Award for 2006, 2007, and 2010. Energy efficient and conservation grant projects. Completed first solar panel installation in Eureka Springs by installing a solar collector and steam washing system for the trolley fleet at the trolley maintenance facility on Highway 62 West. The EECBG funds were used for this. That is the name of the grant. Also, the Eureka Springs greenhouse gas emissions inventory was completed, and the Mayor's Climate Action Plan is underway. Soon the third project will be completed, replacing many streetlights in Basin Park and throughout the city with LED lighting, as mentioned before. Energy efficiency, HVAC upgrades, and interim storm windows will also be installed in the city auditorium. In conclusion, our great city has some kind of activity going on constantly. We as the city government cannot do this job without you, the citizens, volunteering to help. 2012 is an election year, and many issues will be facing everyone. It is imperative to register to vote wherever you live, and please go vote your mind. City, county, state, and federal elections determine who makes the decisions that affect your lives. This choice is and has always been yours, so please vote for something. Respectfully submitted, Morris Pate, Mayor, Eureka Springs. Thank you very much. Okay, next on the list is approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Yes, sir.
We have both the director of the CAPC and the chairman of the CAPC here. I wondered if it'd be okay with the rest of council if we would move the discussion of the lease of the contract to number 4 on unfinished business, since we can't get to the one without discussing the contract first. So if that's all right. I'd like to move that from new business number 10 to number 4 under old business.
Your second?
I'll second.
Okay. Move number 4, new business. Okay. Number 10 to number 4 in unbusiness. Okay. To coincide with the ordinance discussion?
Correct.
Okay. Any further? Doc, you had your hand up?
I'd like to see both of them postponed until after February 14th.
I'll second that.
What was postponed?
Those two items.
Okay. Moved and seconded. So, which one takes precedence? The postponement?
Well, you're just saying the agenda at this point. Really, you normally postpone them when you come to them on the agenda, but since you have people here to speak, you may want to deal with it now. I think the council can do their leisure at this point.
Shall I still want to postpone until February the what?
Till after the first meeting after February 14th.
Okay.
That would take a vote of the council.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You want to do a roll call? Okay, we'll do a roll call. Thank you.
So this is for postponing?
Do we
Yes.
have a discussion if we're going to vote?
Yes, I guess we can since we're going to vote. Yes, sir.
Nothing will change after February 14th, so that's just an arbitrary date. So I don't see why we don't go ahead with this contract on the auditorium.
Okay, this vote will be to postpone till after the 14th.
Actually, the meeting's on the 13th.
I said after the 14th.
Yeah. Okay, the meeting's on the 13th. They want to postpone it till after the 14th. Which is there a target date after the 14th?
Next meeting after the 14th.
Next month. Okay, we don't have a new calendar yet. Does anybody have a new one? 27th? Okay, so postpone until the 27th. Is that correct?
Yes.
If you want to put a date on it? Roll call, please.
Mr. Pownell?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
No.
Dr. Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Mr. Raphael?
Yes.
Mr. DeVito?
No.
3 yeses, 2 noes.
Status
Unless you vote in favor, it fails.
in favor to postpone? No. You mean it passes?
No, it fails. It's not a majority of the whole.
Okay.
5 and 6?
3 to 2.
It's a majority
To
of the whole.
postpone.
It's 50%. It's not a majority of the 6 members.
Okay. So if it fails, then it goes back to the original moving from number 10 to number 4. Is that correct?
I don't understand. Why do you think it failed?
It's 3.
3 yeses, 2
3.
noes.
It'd be 3-3.
Have to have 4 to pass.
Have to have a majority of the whole number. I think.
Majority of the seat, not majority of the consider.
Majority of all the council members or the seated council members?
think on that, it has to be a majority of the 6 members. We might want to take a break and look, but
Could you help me understand why this is different from a regular vote?
be the same on a regular vote of an ordinance. You would need 4. You'd need a majority.
To postpone an action?
Point of clarification,
Yes, sir.
where are we voting until we get through the changes to the agenda?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
Why was this one different? Normally, we need a motion and a second to add or delete something from the agenda. Then we vote on approving the agenda. Why did we vote on this separately?
Mr. Wheeler?
I don't know that you had to vote on it separately, but since you are changing the agenda, the better procedure all along would have been to do that as each item was moved, added, or deleted. But this was really more of a motion to postpone. It's more of a convenience, I think, to take the vote now than to take it when it would normally fall in place, which would be when item 4 comes up on your agenda. And so I don't know that taking it at this point is not required. It would have been taking it, though, as the 4th item, because of the consideration, I think, to take the vote now would be the individuals who are here from that commission to not delay their night if you're going to not do anything with the item.
Yes.
And how can we take a vote on anything tonight without 6 of us here?
You'd have 4 votes with only 4 members.
Before, though, I always thought, when there's something changed on the agenda, I make some motion to change it, and we get a second, and it's done.
Not to postpone, that's not been your policy. It's not been the way you've done it in the past. To move something up or to add something to the agenda, you've done that way. It's not been the way I remember it, at least, for ever removing anything from your agenda.
I've done that before. I've canceled things on the agenda, and I had a second for it, and it went okay.
Mr. DeVito?
In the past, on other items, there was not a conflict as to this, as to striking an item or postponing an item. We had, whether we would move an item or add something to the agenda, there is definitely a conflict here which required a vote of council.
Yeah, I'll entertain a motion to postpone 5 minutes, recess 5 minutes to get Mr.
So moved.
Weaver to look at it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carried. We'll be back in session. Mr. Weaver, can you render a decision yet?
After having looked at the Roberts rules,
Yeah. Apparently having a little technical difficulty here. Are we hot, Nathan? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Wood.
After having looked at the Roberts rules and looked in the state code, the Roberts rules indicates that for a vote on the agenda item, it appears that it takes a majority of the whole body. The whole body here is 6. 3 does not constitute a majority of 6. It's just like normal. You would have to have 4 votes in favor. The mayor may vote in favor of an item, but may not vote against. The mayor did not express a positive vote for the postponement. It would be my understanding that it would therefore be a failure on the motion to postpone, and that item would remain on the agenda at this time. And when it comes up later in the night, if there is again a vote of 3-2, it's my understanding that under state law, it's a majority vote of the body itself, not of the members present. If you have 6 members that are members of the body, it would take 4 members to vote in favor of anything in order to pass, or 3 plus a positive vote from the mayor, thereby constituting a majority of the body as a whole.
Okay. With that determination, it looks like we are back to moving number 10 to number 4 for discussion when it comes around. And it was seconded. There's no need for a vote on that one. Is that correct?
You'll do that
Okay.
by normal procedure when you approve
Any
the
other
agenda.
agenda items, Mr. Pano?
I'd like to add 11 and 12 under new business, 11 being a proposed date for the 2011 cleanup resolution workshop, and number 12, no, I'll do it one at a time.
Second.
Number 12, discussion of 2012 budget.
Okay, repeat number 11 again so I can get it down.
2011 cleanup resolution date for workshop.
Any further? Yes, sir.
This one question. We were had talked about in the procedures at the first meeting of the year, listing all the ordinances that are in the hands of the city attorney. Can we have that for the next meeting? That's an agenda item. But just provided to the clerk what ordinances you're working on, and she'll fit it in on the agenda of their committees and reports. That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. All in favor of the amended approved agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda's approved. Approval of the minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Pano?
Apologize for not being able to have the time to get these into the clerk, so it's no reflection on her. Page 5, under about the third of the way down, it says the emergence clause was read, should be emergency clause.
Thank you.
And on page 7, under item 12, the motion carried 431 with Mayor Pate voting in favor. I don't think we had 8 people at the table voting. I think that should be 4-2-1.
Okay, and I'll double check it with the DVD. Thank you.
Anything else? All in favor of the minutes approved, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Minutes are approved. Commission committee authority reports, expired terms. Under planning, Position number 1, Mickey Snyder, is set to expire, is expired 7/1/11. There's nobody to replace her. Number 6 is vacant, expires 1/1/12. Number 7, Denise Flaherty, expires 1/1/12. I think we're going to keep Miss Flaherty on there if she so desires. She has not resigned yet, as far as I know. Hi, Bev. And Ms. Blankenship is here to speak for planning. So,
Hi.
is that good?
I just wanted to let everybody know that we do have 2 positions available if you get if you could get somebody. Miss Flaherty has agreed to sit until we have somebody replace her, but she would like to be replaced. She doesn't want to renew hers. So we had a situation come up where 2 of us were gone and we needed her for a quorum. So please come in and sign up for Planning Commission. I was hopeful that I could speak on my issues now so that I don't have to wait 4 or 5 hours. Handicap parking regulation is unfinished business number 6. It's just from the state code, just like you had been given a month ago before the city attorney got it written up. And it does come from state code. Chief Hyatt has gone over it. This is what he thinks is a good idea too. So if you don't have any questions, I hope that y'all will endorse that for the first reading. And then I would just like to remind you what was going on with new business number 3, the B&B licenses. The Planning Commission got a request, a CUP request, to update a CUP from a 5-unit B&B to a 6-unit B&B. The Planning Commission had to turn that down because the rules in our code book say a B&B can only be up to 5 units. After that, it says that it's a motel. Before that law, and that was, do you remember what the number was? 1816. That's the ordinance. Before that ordinance was made, B&Bs could be up to 10 units. Our license, the license ordinance still says 1 to 10 units and over 10 units. And that's what, the B&Bs were coming and renewing their licenses, and it was printing out on their license up to 10 units when the law says they could only have 5. And so some people thought that they could do more. And so that's what that discussion is about, number 3, new business, because one part of the code book was changed, but the other part was not changed. So that's what I hope y'all will be looking at.
What's the reference for up to 10? Because the only reference I could find was in the fee schedule. That B&Bs can only be up to 5 units.
It's in the definitions under the zoning laws.
Thank you.
Okay?
Any further questions? Brent?
Isn't there an existing B&B with over 5 units?
Right, and those are legally non-conforming, and they are in the zoning ordinance in the very back page
Right.
that has them listed
But
out.
in reference to their fee permit,
Correct.
don't they still get a B&B as opposed to a hotel
Correct.
permit?
Do you really want to get into that now?
Well, that's just the question. I mean,
There are 3 legally non-conforming. They're on the list. And
Okay.
I'm just telling you why this is
Understand.
part.
All right,
Because
okay.
everybody's license for all their B&Bs were saying up to 10
Understand.
units, and it made a problem. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. For its nomination go, we have... Yes, sir. Okay, go ahead. I thought you were just going to come back in and sit down.
like to report that we've had excellent reports in from several of the lodging properties for December and January. I've heard at least 2 properties that were up over 35% in December compared to the previous year. So we're very proud of the results of the CAPC advertising to help bring people into town, and thank the powers that be above for giving us the great weather that also helped enable us to probably show true record revenues for both December, and it looks like we're rolling into January, because we're hearing very, very strong reports from people saying that they've got some of the best months ever. And so we're really proud of that. The CAPC has asked the City Council to please renew our agreement for operating the auditorium on behalf of the city. Would like to quell a couple of rumors that I've heard that we're only committing $1,000 to it. Actually, our total expenses that we have budgeted for operation of the auditorium for 2012 will include $929 for music licenses, $3,112 for the phone and fire alarms, $40,000 for the sound tech and equipment contract, $599 for Polestar, $1,500 for liquor licenses and the training required, $160 that we pay for the auditorium website. We have $44,589 in wages and contract labor for the people that actually work the auditorium. We have a $2,750 copier lease. We have $1,000 that we've offered to the city to reimburse them for the utilities for office use, $650 for maintenance items, and those would be production items like gels and lighting filters, things like that for use in the productions, and we pay $375 to the city of Eureka Springs for licenses, for a total expense of $94,735 that we have budgeted towards the operation of the auditorium. If the auditorium is not open, then I guess that we will instead dedicate those $94,000 to additional advertising to try salvaging our city's reputation in booking events into the auditorium. We've unfortunately had 4 events canceled today because we do not have a continuing operating agreement. We are being threatened with lawsuits as well, so we are very, very concerned. That is why the CAPC reversed its previous stance to hand back the auditorium to the city. We had been asked by the mayor and the previous executive director to book events through 2012. We did so under our existing agreement. We do have the authority to book out to the end of 2012, but if we are not allowed to continue operating the auditorium, I know of no other option other than to basically hand the keys back to the mayor, turn the contracts over to the mayor and the council to deal with, and then the CAPC concentrate upon advertising and promoting the city. We do have a number of shows that are in jeopardy right now because of the delays in getting a commission or an agreement going. There will be cancellation of most of our major events. If we do not have the auditorium, we will lose our ability to do things like festivals and events in the auditorium. The city would also then have the added costs of all of these costs that we've just mentioned, the $94,000 that I guess the city would have to start absorbing if they want to run the auditorium. The CAPC is very eager. We have changed course. We have changed complete management of the CAPC, and we're really trying to do the best that we can to promote the city as an event-driven city that welcomes tourists and gives great entertainment opportunities to tourists and residents alike. We feel that it is imperative that we have an operating agreement continuing as of tomorrow morning because, like I said, we actually had 4 events canceled as of today. If we do not have an operating agreement, then I guess that we basically have to walk away from those events and we'll have to deal with the legal consequences as they come up. But I am just at a total loss as to understand why that an agreement that worked last year that did such a good job of building up the auditorium's reputation, bringing in civic events, bringing in events for things like graduation and a number of great events that brought in hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue to the city in form of taxes. And if there is, any ray of hope whatsoever, I would just ask you to please give us the opportunity to continue the stopgap effort until the council can come to terms with how it wants to run the auditorium, how it wants to make it available. because we have to continue somehow keeping the auditorium alive. I don't believe that the citizens of Eureka Springs will support closing the auditorium. That's why I pushed, as the new chairman of the CAPC, to renew an agreement and work with the mayor to come up to terms to show that any profits generated from the auditorium will go back into the operation of the auditorium. We've tried to do everything we can to answer any questions that have been posed by us, and we are at a loss to understand why the council isn't eager for us to continue the successful path that we've been able to establish since Mike Maloney came in as the executive director. We beg your indulgence in allowing the CAPC to continue doing the right thing for the city. Thank you.
Mr. Ragsdale, before you leave, sir, the last agreement was for just 6 months, was that correct?
We actually had offered to give you a year extension. We did at first say 6 months because we thought that that would be the time period necessary for the city council to make a final decision as to the disposition of the auditorium. As a member of the public, I'd like to also speak maybe as a member of the committee that y'all entrusted to develop a plan for the auditorium. It was a unanimous vote after reviewing every possible alternative for the operation of the auditorium, everything from selling the building to turning it back to the city, the mayor running it, the city council running it, a nonprofit organization running it, a for-profit business running it. We looked at the state auditorium statutes, and we felt that it was the best alternative because it gave extreme control of the commission to the council, so you still would be in charge of the auditorium through your commission. The commission would have the authority to operate it under state law that would control it from nepotism problems, and would also make sure that all purchases of over $300 would go out to bid for contracts, so it prevents it from becoming a slush fund for any one individual. I know of no other form of government that's available for running an auditorium other than the Auditorium Commission that addressed all of the concerns of the committee. The committee vote was unanimous to look at forming a commission, and we do ask the city council to please form a commission, build it up to where the auditorium can continue in its upward path that we've been charting for it this year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any other commissioners out there that you know? Okay. We have two applications for HDC. One is Doug Britling for HDC position number 4 and Greg Moon for HDC position number 5. I will submit those for reapproval. Let's see. Mr. Britling stays seated, and his is actually almost 2 years old. And Mr. Moon went out in November, so these are reapplications. So for these for nominations, you should have copies of them. Also, for cemetery position number 4, Ken Fugate has reapplied. He currently chairs the committee on the cemetery, or the commission on cemetery, and he has expressed interest in maintaining. So you want to consider these now?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Proceed.
Okay. Mr. DeVito?
Well, we have a normal procedure being that approving people for the first time. These are presently seated members of the commission, so we have deviated from that and reappointed them to the commissions.
Well, that can be a vote at the table right now if you want to suspend the rules and go ahead with the nominations, or wait the 2 weeks, and it's up to you.
I don't know either of the 2 applicants for the HDC, so I think it'd be an inappropriate time to vote, at least on my part.